Hey, welcome to Tony Barbecue. I'm Tony. Thank you so much for being here. I've had a ton of questions about my Oklahoma Joe's Judge charcoal grill, mostly about its quality and how it's held up over the last couple of years, so I figure I'd do my best to answer them for you right here with this video. Not only am I going to show you how it's held up for the last couple of years, but I'm going to demonstrate how it performs by cooking a big fat tomahawk steak and some chicken leg quarters on it. So of course, along the way, you're going to get some great grilling tips as well as some very important maintenance tips for you. So real quick, before we get started, just want to say a huge thank you to my now over 12,000 subscribers. Thank you so much. I love you all. And to everybody, thank you very much for watching this video. I really appreciate all your likes, your comments, your questions. Please keep them coming. And don't forget to check the video description for links to some of my favorite tools and products. All right, let's do this. Here we go. All right, how about we start with a tour of the cover. It's been sitting here for about 2 years now. It's gone through 2 very wet winters, and it's in its second getting very hot summer, and didn't do anything to treat or protect this cover, and it's holding up pretty well. You can see it regularly gets sprinkled on by the sprinklers. I don't do anything to protect it from that either. There's no tears. The seams are still holding up, and besides a little fading, it's in relatively good condition. Let's get it uncovered. All right, uncovered. Okay, let's have a quick run around the exterior. It is always under that cover unless I'm cooking with it, and it usually gets put back underneath the cover the day after I'm done cooking with it. And besides that, I rub it down with a little peanut oil. Usually every now and then, not too often. You can see here it's a little dusty and a little bit dirty. But besides that, there is no exterior rust going on. It's looking really good. Pretty solid. Let's have a look at the inside. Okay, inside, what we've got here, cast iron grates. You can see they're still a little oily and dirty from the last time I cooked on it. And I'm going to show you here throughout this video and towards the end some very important steps on keeping your cast iron grates and the rest of your charcoal grill from getting rusty and nasty. So let's have a look down inside. I'm going to go ahead and take these grates out. Down in here is a very important part that a lot of people ask me about. They want to know how the charcoal grate is holding up. And as you can see here, pretty solid. I've had no issues with it. I'm going to raise this up. I've seen some charcoal grates where they bend over time and they really start falling apart. This one has been used a lot over the last couple of years. You can probably tell that I normally keep most of my fire over here on the right side of the charcoal grill. And over here is kind of my cooler zone. But I've had charcoal all across this entire thing and no issues with it. So along with this, let me show you another feature about this that's really good. And very, very important. I'm going to be demonstrating here in this video how this works. So I've got this fire grate raised all the way up right now, so it's sitting just below the level of the cooking grates, which is awesome if I want the heat really close to what I'm cooking so I can sear it really well. Now, being able to easily move this down is essential, especially when cooking something with a lot of fat like chicken. You're going to see here a little bit. When the fire is far enough away from the cooking surface, you're a lot less likely to have major problems with flare up, and you're not going to burn your meat as much. So we'll be demonstrating that later. So the other area that's asked about a lot is down below. This is the ash pan. And can see here, obviously it's had a lot of use, a lot of ashes falling down in here, but relatively solid, no problems. Let's have a look at the underside. Really no rust issues. After a couple years of sitting out here unprotected, except for that cover, it's done very well. And below the surface there, you can see where a little bit of ash and a little bit of grease has fallen below that. And it's in good shape down there too. There's no rust issues. I'm going to go ahead and open this door. Now this door right here is also extremely important because this door makes it possible for me to add fuel to the fire grate when it starts to run low on some of the longer cooks. And down inside here, there you go. There's a closer look at that underside there, and there's no issues. So we're in good shape there. So now with that, let me go ahead and get this back inside here, and I'm going to load this up. I'm going to get some charcoal ready. Let's do a cook and show you how this thing rocks. All right, this coal's hot. Time to throw it down. All right, there we go. So I'm going to organize this so that it is all to the right. What we're going to be putting on here today is going to be some chicken leg quarters and a tomahawk steak. I'm going to have the leg quarters arranged directly above all these coals. And I'm going to be cooking these leg quarters for about 1 hour. So I need to make sure that I have enough fuel in here to last for an hour. I'm going to lower these grates down right now. There we go. And let me get a few more pieces of fresh charcoal in there. These chunks are really big. All right, just going to rearrange a little bit here. I want the hotter side to be over here to the right. And you're going to see how I arrange the meat to keep it from burning. I want it to cook nice, evenly, slowly, and I want a good crispy skin on the chicken. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and get these grates in place. We're almost ready to start cooking. So what I got to do right now is I want these grates to get really hot first. And then I'm going to give them a good scrubbing and cleaning and a little extra coat of oil. There's a special little tip right there for you. I'm going to show you exactly what I do. But once these two get really hot from the fire that's directly below them, I'm going to scrub them, clean them. I'm going to rotate and move these over. You're going to see that, so I can scrub and clean those. We're going to go ahead and close the lid down now. Going to make sure that the exhaust vent is wide open. And over here, the intake vent also wide open for now. I am going to be closing both of those down significantly once the meat goes on the grill. But right now, I just want to get this nice and hot. I want to see that temperature come all the way up here past 350. All right, temperature is over 350, approaching 400 degrees. It's nice and hot in here right now. Let's have a look inside, and that's great. So you can see smoking hot. I'm going to go ahead and give them a quick scrubbing and cleaning. That heat is going to kill away any bacteria that there might have been. I'm not going to tell you what type of grill brush to use to clean your grates. Whatever you do, just use your eyes, and it'll be dumb. There we go. Sometimes you gotta poke in between a little bit. Now, the reason I clean these grates now instead of right after cooking, these are cast iron. Cast iron will rust. What protects cast iron from rusting is oil and grease, which comes off of meat that you cook. And so leaving that stuff on there actually protects them, keeps them from rusting. And then you can see it kind of starts to, some of the crusty stuff starts burning off when you get them hot, ready for the next cook. And that is fantastic. Well seasoned, well cared for. All right, let's go ahead and move these over. One, there's the other one. Perfect. We're gonna let those get extra hot. Close this down, let that burn off. Be ready in a second. Okay, time to clean that other half. Temperature is way up again, above 400 degrees. So right now, before I even do that, I'm gonna come over here. I'm gonna close this off. There we go. I wanna choke that airflow down. And inside here, nice and hot. Let's go ahead and give that a good scrub. All right, I'm about to give you a very important tip right now. This is how you can keep these cast iron grates looking good and rust-free. This is peanut oil in a generic Home Depot spray bottle. And all I do is I get this hot in the microwave for about a minute and then spray these grates down before I put the meat on, being careful not to let it flame up too much on the side over here. If I overspray a little bit onto the sides of this charcoal grill, that's even better. It doesn't matter. Oil will keep this thing from rusting. I'm going to show you another tip in a little while on more that you can do with this oil to keep this thing from rusting. Now, I'm going to go ahead and close this up, and I'm going to go ahead and choke this airflow down, way down, because I want that charcoal, that lump coal that's in there to cool down a little bit. And I'm going to be cooking in this range right here. One more thing I need to do real fast here. Sorry. So this grate needs to go all the way down. I want a lot of distance between the meat that's going on this grate and the fire. So this is now all the way down below. And let's just see down inside here. It is way down there. So we've got a good amount of distance, a good 10, 12 inches between the top of that grate and the fire down below. And that is how we're going to keep this chicken from burning. We're going to cook it perfectly. So time to go get the chicken. All right, we're ready to cook now. Let's go ahead, get this chicken on the grill here. We've got a tomahawk steak right here. We're going to put this tomahawk right here. If you get a little close there, you can hear the sizzle. It is looking good. And over here, we're going to throw down this chicken. Let's start right over here. Now, the reason I wanted to put these chicken leg quarters on the grill for this video is because if you ever cook chicken leg quarters before, you know they are very fatty. They drip a lot of fat and they will catch on fire. And when chicken catches on fire, it's kind of sad because you overcook the skin real quick. You start turning it black. And then all these yummy, delicious seasonings that you put on your chicken, whatever you use. In this case, I'm using my wife's favorite kicking chicken. And it's fantastic. And you can see down there, you already got some flames coming up because right away you start getting some fat dripping off this chicken. So I'm not going to leave this lid open for much longer. We're going to kill those flames. We want that seasoning to stay on the skin, and we want it to cook with the skin and become part of it so you get all that delicious flavor. And well, this is it. We're going to go ahead and close this down now. That chicken is going to be cooking for about 1 hour. In about 20 minutes to a half hour, I'm going to check this. I'm going to open it. I'm going to flip that chicken over and let the skin side cook and get nice and crispy. And then towards the end, I'm going to go ahead and give it some sauce. In the meantime, over here, that tomahawk steak, it's about a 2.5-inch thick steak. It weighs 2.5 pounds. And I have it away from the fire because I want it to warm slowly so that it reaches an internal temperature of somewhere around 115, 120 degrees. Notice I did not put any meat thermometers in it because I'm just going to go with my gut instinct here that an hour is about the magic number for this. I've got the air choke way down right now. I'm going to leave it like that for a little while because even with the air choke as much as it is, it's still going to generate heat. It's still going to escape a little, you know, there's still going to be some airflow in there. That fire is not going out. And I'm going to leave it like that until the thing starts cooling off a little bit. You can see the temp gauge is already up here at about 400 degrees. In the meantime, I'm going to go inside and I'm going to start working some other stuff. So next time we come back, you're going to see probably me flipping that chicken, and we'll see how things are looking at that point. We'll go from there. All right, so it's only been a couple of minutes and I thought of a tip that I wanted to share with you. Somebody asked me a question: how do you deal with flies? Why don't you have flies surrounding your barbecue and your food? There's a couple little tricks that I do. There's actually a few besides trying to keep the lawn mowed, trying to not to overwater, stuff like that. This over here is a citronella candle. Flies don't like that stuff, so I like to burn that in the summertime when we do have flies. And over here, I've got a big old fan. And I've also got misters attached to that fan. It's just your fan you can get at Home Depot. It's a 30-inch. And just having some air circulation in the area, flies don't like that either. So besides that, just not letting raw meat and food hang out for too long, because after a while the flies will come. So that's just a couple little fly management tips there for you, because I freaking hate flies. Another little maintenance tip for you: remember that peanut oil that I sprayed the grate with? It's also excellent for preserving the exterior of your charcoal grill. I actually will just spray it on there, and then I just use the same old rag that I use every time to do this, and I just wipe it down, spread it around a little bit. You can do this all over. So not only does it protect it, it makes it look real nice. You do this on a regular basis, this thing will never rust. All right, so I thought I should mention, it's only been about 10 minutes and the temperature started falling really quickly. So you can see I've got the intake vents wide open again. We're holding it just below 300, about 275 on that gauge here. And went ahead and opened up the exhaust a little bit there. That'll get the airflow going again. And with the air, that's this kind of a testament to this rig here, with the airflow choked off like that, it was basically putting out the fire. So you got to watch that. When it starts to drop down, that's when you want to go ahead and start opening things back up a little bit so that you can get that temperature back up to that range closer to the 350. We're still in this good range here, though. We want to be between 250 and 350 for this cook. Okay, it's been about 30 minutes. It's been on the grill now. Temperature, after that last adjustment I showed you, we're still holding right there, just above 300 on that gauge. So we're looking good. Let's see how this chicken looks. I think it looks pretty stinking good.
Where'd those jalapenos come from?
I had to throw those jalapenos on there. You know me, I like me some jalapenos. All right, so let's have a look at the underside of the chicken. Check that out. It is not burnt. It's just turning, gosh, it's like freaking perfect is what it's doing. That's looking excellent. Get these all turned over here. Oh yeah. So I can see that it looks like right here is probably the hottest part. So maybe I'll do this little adjustment like this. I'll do a little swapperoo right there. And yeah, we're looking good. These jalapenos, they're just slowly warming up now. This tomahawk over here, I'm not even going to mess with it. It is obviously still nice and well, we're super rare, and we're just going to let that continue cooking away there. We got about a half hour to go before this chicken's ready to go. So probably in about another 20-25 minutes, I'm going to open this up. I'm probably going to throw some sauce down on a couple of these, and then flip them, and yeah, we're looking really good. You can see the judge performs really well with that fire being so far below the chicken. The grease is dripping out of this chicken is just cooking away and bringing some delicious flavor back up to that chicken. And yeah, that's it. So we're gonna close this lid down and we're gonna let it keep on going. All right, it's gonna be time to sear that tomahawk in a little bit. So I'm gonna show you a little trick I'm gonna do here. So down inside here, I've got the plenty of coals over here. We're looking real good. I'm gonna take a few little sticks. I'm gonna stick them over here off to the side, kind of below that tomahawk, to let those get nice and warm. I'm gonna be using those sticks later on to put them onto that fire and get it extra hot. All right, it's been about 20 minutes. Let's have a look and see how this chicken's doing. And this tomahawk, oh, starting to see a little bit of color there. Oh yeah, that's what I'm looking for. That's good. Chicken. Oh yeah. This chicken is looking good. And we're even starting to soften up a little bit here on these jalapenos. Oh yeah, that's nice. I'm gonna set these over here a little bit. All right, so what we're gonna do now, we're gonna leave these 3 over here unsauced. I can feel these are about ready. These 2, we're gonna put a little sauce down on. I like to put the sauce down on just the last few minutes of cooking. That way that sauce has time to kind of thicken up a little bit, char a little bit onto the surface. Use whatever sauce you like. Just get your favorite, mix it up. What we're talking about right here is just how this grill works. Some basic cooking techniques. So I'm really not getting too much into recipes, spices, rubs, and sauces and all that stuff. You see this one here, it's got a little bit of char going on there on the skin. That actually is going to taste really good. I don't want it to get any darker than that, so I kind of got, I wouldn't say lucky with the timing. It's all about instinct. I just kind of felt like it was about time to check. There we go. All right, I'm just going to let that sit in here for just a couple more minutes, and then it's time to fire up this tomahawk. All right, we're an hour in. This chicken is done. Let's go ahead and take this off. And bring this inside, let this rest. It's time to fire up this tomahawk and finish it off. All right, in the firebox here, we still got some nice coals going on over here. So we're gonna have no problem getting this tomahawk nicely seared. But just to give it a little extra flavor, a little extra fire, I'm gonna go ahead and throw down these few sticks of oak wood that I've got here. Get that into the fire. There we go. And gonna get that blazing hot. I'm gonna leave the lid open while that wood catches fire. And we're gonna sear a tomahawk. Okay, you can see we got a blazing hot fire going real well here now. I'm just gonna go and bring this grate up a little bit because it's hot enough to where I don't need to get it super close. So let's go up a couple notches. There we go. I can tell this tomahawk is it's looking good. Not gonna need to sear this for very long. All right, here we go. Some of the flames you're seeing right here is the leftover grease from the chicken burning off of the grate. That's totally cool. We're just gonna leave it for a few seconds on each side. Let that flame really kiss that meat. Oh yeah. It's hot. All right, and that's it. We're good to go. Beautiful. Let's get this inside and let it rest. All right, I've got all the meat, those jalapenos off the grill. So here's what I'm going to do right now. This is the last thing that I do here for maintenance tonight. I'm going to close that lid. It's going to slow down the temperature a little bit, and I'm just going to let that rest of that fire slowly burn off. And that's it. When tomorrow, at some point, I'm going to come out here, I'm going to empty out, I'm going to clean, I'm going to show you the most important thing that you need to do to take care of your Judge charcoal grill, and really any charcoal grill, any offset smoker. The most important thing that you got to do, you're going to see here near the end of the video. All right, let's see how this chicken turned out. I'd say this chicken turned out perfect. You can tell when chicken's cooked perfectly when you don't have a lot of pink juices coming off the bones. And this chicken is definitely cooked perfectly. Got the bone over there. Sorry, making a mess of this one. Just want to show you. Inside, we're looking good. All right, so let's get this chicken out of the way. Time for that tomahawk. All right, there's that tomahawk. Let's carve into this and see how it came out. I'm gonna go ahead and remove the bone right now. Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Look at that. That is freaking beautiful. Let's go ahead and slice her up. And there you have it. That is one perfectly cooked tomahawk steak. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and enjoy this delicious tomahawk steak and barbecue chicken with the family right now. And just watch a little bit longer. Pretty soon you're going to see that last most important step that needs to be done to maintenance your charcoal grill. Okay, as promised, here is the most important part of maintenance for your charcoal grill. Now, this is the next day. It's totally cooled off now, and we're going to empty the ashes. Emptying the ashes is super important if you want to prevent rust from destroying your charcoal grill. Normally, I don't move these. I don't even touch the cooking grates until the next time I cook. I'm just getting them out of the way right now so you can see what's going on below the surface. So you saw earlier in the video how I got these hot and scrubbed them and cleaned them and coated them with oil. So like I said, normally I do not move these, but right now I just want you to see down inside here. This is the fire grate, and you can see here there's a little bit of leftovers on the fire grate. These are completely extinguished. They are super cold. It is the next day. This is very important to make sure that they're completely extinguished before you go start getting rid of these ashes. So I'm just going to give these a couple bumps like that to knock down any loose ashes. This stuff right here, this is actually usable charcoal. This is lump coal. I'm going to leave this here for the next time I cook. This isn't going to cause a problem. I'm just going to kind of pile it up a little bit. But what you want to get rid of is the ashes. So that is good now. Down here, we got the ash pan. I'll go ahead and slide this out. The reason you want to get rid of the ashes is that these ashes will actually attract and collect moisture. And that moisture is what will cause the rust. So this is just a cheapo putty knife. I use this to scrape all this stuff clean. Make sure you dispose of your ashes properly. Where I live, I can actually dispose of lump coal ashes and wood ash in my green waste container. Or I could put charcoal or anything else in my regular trash bin. But I like to make sure to scrape all this clean, take it over here, and then just dump this right down in here. There we go. That's it. Nice and clean. Slide that back in here. Get these grates back in place. And this bad boy is good to go for the next cook. And as you can see, over a couple of years of use, doing exactly this, we do not have a rust problem. The Oklahoma Joe's Judge Charcoal Grill, pretty solid beast. Hope this has been helpful to you. And don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe. I really appreciate you being here and watching. And make sure if you have any comments or questions, just leave them in the comment section. I'll do my best to get back to you. Thank you very much. Have fun.